YouTube is a strange platform, and I'm not just talking about its usual algorithmic impenetrability or its normal suppressive tendencies, but rather the fact that it outcompeted its only real primary opposition, television, some 10, 15, 20 years ago, and yet it still insists on bending over backwards in order to appease its long-since defeated opponent, with this being one of the most retarded recent examples. As I'm sure you are aware, the presidential debate is going to go ahead tonight between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Of course, a lot of people are very interested in this because, well, this is a rather, contentious time, shall we say, in politics in general, and in American politics even more so. And yet, CNN announced that it had apparently reached some sort of agreement with YouTube to take down any streams of the debate. So only CNN and those CNN had approved will be allowed to air or stream the debate, whereas anyone else doing so would receive a copyright claim at best or an outright strike at worst. And it would need to be a strike if it is to take the stream offline, so it seems as if they're promising strikes to anyone that want to stream the debate. Now, this is, of course, in flagrant violation of the rules that are supposed to bind YouTube, in that you are not allowed to issue blatantly false copyright claims or strikes. And, well, somebody doing commentary on a presidential debate seems to fulfill the transformative part of the fair use quite easily, as nobody is going to mistake Tim Pool sitting in his studio talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden as an official CNN product anytime soon. And yet, that is apparently exactly what they're doing. Now, this is so flagrant that lawsuits have already been filed in order to try and prevent CNN from doing this, and all credit to this guy for doing so, by the way, meet Kevin here, who has already made the paperwork official about this. And again, it seems to be a slam dunk. I have a very hard time seeing how they are going to argue that commentary on what should be a public debate is not protected by, fair use, but hey, who even knows at this point? And most interestingly of all, Elon Musk stated that the public has a right to see presidential debates however they would like. DMCA does not apply. Officially then declaring that if you stream it on X, Twitter, you will not be subject to any takedown notices. See, here's the thing. I was at best ambivalent towards the idea of commentating on the debate, because here's the thing, I talk a lot about cultural issues, and let's be fair here, today, cultural issues are American cultural issues, because, well, if we were playing a game of civilization, America would long since have won the cultural victory if it wasn't for that, communist trap card being played on it and somewhat severely undermining its cultural victory, allowing Japan to skyrocket up behind it. But American culture is in essence now the world's culture. However, American politics, see, I couldn't tell you what the taxation level in Wisconsin should be, beyond the 2% tax on tea, of course, or about the sanctuary cities, how they might affect America's economy overall, or how they might go up against its constitution, so on. I don't know diddly dick about American internal politics, so I was very much so on the fence. But now that YouTube is telling me I can't do it, oh well, a lot more interested now all of a sudden, so why not try to pull a little bit, the tiny bit of audience away from YouTube? I'm probably going to stream it on Twitter and on Rumble, because, well, here's the thing. YouTube essentially sitting here thinking to itself, okay, I could basically coup CNN's own coverage away from CNN, reducing my competitor to nothing more than a content farm for my own benefit, as I tell ya, YouTube is guaranteeably set to make an absolute killing in 30% super chat English, there we go, super chats today, and yet it isn't going to allow that? Now, why would YouTube do that? Clearly, it has nothing to do with economical concerns, because the economy here is very simple. Undermine your primary opposition and boost your own numbers. You wouldn't let that go. unless you're trying to control a certain narrative, which CNN is already very interested in doing. The Clinton News Network is unlikely to provide a particularly fair or unbiased debate in this matter. They've already announced that they are adding in mute buttons to the candidate so as to allow both of them to, well, lie uninterruptedly. on either side, to be fair. So hold on there, candidate, I'm not going to give you an opportunity to launch a rebuttal, but he's bullshitting. Oh, yeah, you know, that's politics for you. Fair enough. You know, personally, I prefer the good old days where a presidential debate could take the form of a boxing match, but details. Anywho, the only conceivable reason you would do this is if you want to make sure that not enough people on the wrong side of politics gets to paint the debate in their own light as it is happening. As of course the thing with YouTube pulling away viewership from CNN is that it pulls people over to, well, the content creators. And the left-wing content creators have not been doing particularly well as of late, meaning that the majority of these viewers will be pulled over to the dreaded right-wingers, who might, I don't know, conceivably even take up a pro-Trump position. We wouldn't want that now, would we? And to make sure that I will not fall in that trap, English, yet again, trap, I will be doing my stream with and hosting and on Dev's channel. So Dev will be streaming it as well, and I'll be joining him, and we will have a spirited debate, as Dev, the communist sympathizer, is of course in the pro-Biden camp. Because of course Dev is. Dev, little bastard. But I, culturally speaking, am deeply in the Trumpian camp. See, at this point, I'm not even entirely sure I care if Trump will ruin America, so long as he ruins the parts of America I don't like. Hey, sometimes you've got to sacrifice other people's countries for your own benefits. See, it's a valuable Norwegian perspective on your nation's future, isn't it? I am joking, mostly, of course, but that is in all due likelihood the reason why YouTube will have done this partnership. And we've also haven't really heard from YouTube on this point, so it is entirely possible, I guess, that CNN might be trying a bluff to see how many people they can, chase off YouTube, to see if they can gain an exclusivity via simply saying that they intend to take this legal action. Well, illegal action really, but you get my general gist of the idea here, which would be clever, as I'm sure it would scare off a significant number of people from even trying, because if you get a strike on your channel, best case scenario, that's you off the internet for a week. And that is assuming YouTube plays by its usual rules of giving out one strike and or a warning, whereas, YouTube's already supposedly bound by the fair use exceptions, right? Those are YouTube's rules, and if they're already supposedly planning on violating those rules, what makes you think they're not going to violate a few more rules at the same time, eh? This is one of the brilliant things that YouTube has done. They've put in place a rule system that will be utilized most of the time, and will often even benefit creators with the new warning system and the opportunities to appeal, etc, etc, and yet at the same time, YouTube also makes sure to add in enough random chaos god in there, to the point that even if you've got 3 or theoretically 4 strikes with a warning, you're never entirely sure if you're going to be getting those 3 or 4 strikes before your channel disappears entirely. And seeing as it'll also disable your Google account, well, how do you get in contact with YouTube support? Well, they've got a Gmail. Without access to your backend or anything. Yeah, as far as online tyrannies goes, the YouTube tyranny is a fairly competent one, if malicious as well. I mean, I've heard rumors that it's not going to be live either. It's going to be pre-recorded or something. I guess we're going to be finding out now. So I'll put up a community note once we get a little bit closer to it with the Rumble and the Twitter link, I suppose, is just my Twitter, which will be linked down in the description down below. So if you're interested in coming to hang out with me as I argue with Dev over why Joe Biden is a communist stooge, hey, I might as well really bring out all the stops whilst I'm there, right? Then you should head on over to that or look out for the Rumble link in the community post, which I'll be making relatively soon. Until then, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.